Hey again guys, and welcome back. It is time for another mailbag video. First one up, we have this one, and yeah, I've heard you guys in the comments. I'm going to put the links in the description, so they're probably going to be affiliate links though. So yeah, it takes quite a while to build all the links. So hopefully you don't mind supporting the channel a little bit by using the affiliate links in the description. Anyways. This says cable sleeves, and $4.68, January 23rd to April 1st. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Oh, is it all the same size? Oh, this stuff feels very weird. So this is heat shrink tubing, very similar to some heat shrink tubing I got before. But this stuff is 2-to-1, so it's cheaper. So that means if it's 2 mils across, it'll shrink to 1 mil across. This is something like probably 6 mil, and it'll shrink down. Yeah, I got this stuff because it's cheaper than the glue-filled 3-to-1. So I often feel bad using like my supplies. So yeah, I feel like a little bit reluctant to use expensive things on experimental things, but I guess I should really stop doing that. But anyways, this is 2-to-1, so I can use this stuff as much as I want without feeling guilty but wasting stuff. I'm going to set this up and we're going to shrink it down. And I'm going to go get that 3-to-1 stuff and we'll see the big difference as well. So I got both of them here. This is the stuff I just ordered, and by the way, I ordered 5 meters. Oh, so 10 meters of each. Yeah, 10 meters of each color. So that's about, 30 feet of each color. And that was all included in that price. So this is the stuff here. This is the 2-to-1 stuff that we just saw me open. And this is 6 millimeter diameter, so it should shrink down to 3 millimeter. And I have this one here, which is the other stuff I opened before. This is the double wall with the glue inside, and this stuff is 6.4. So this should go down to 3-to-1. So yeah, 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters. So I'm gonna just jam them both on this skewer here, and shrink them down. But you can tell like the single wall stuff is way more flexible. It's really not as rigid, and obviously there's no adhesive. So I'm going to put them here, and we're going to turn on the heat gun. We're going to shrink them down, and we're going to see what that gives us. I got the heat gun at 200 degrees Celsius here, so let's give it a shot. This is the original stuff. Shrinking down pretty nicely. Going to get it from underneath as well. It doesn't, like, this cocktail stick is, or skewer I should say, I think is a little bit too thin for even this 3-to-1, but we'll see when I get the 2-to-1 here. We'll see that one will probably be looser. Here's the 2-to-1 stuff. Oh, I don't know. It did shrink down. So there you go. That's the 3-to-1 stuff up here. I'm not sure how much of that is in focus. And the 2-to-1 stuff over here. See, the 2-to-1 stuff is loose, but the 3-to-1 stuff, actually, well, it's still hot because of the hot melt glue here. But it will stick onto this and it'll be perfectly fine there. So you see they kind of have a different use case. But the 2-to-1 stuff did shrink down pretty nice. So I think either way you need some heat shrink in your arsenal. And I'll put the link to both the 3-to-1 and the 2-to-1 stuff in the description below. Next one up, this one here, which is an expansion board module. $15.08, March 9 ordered, April 6th it came in. Oh yeah. I was wondering which package these were in. Fantastic, actually. These would be pretty cool. So I have an immediate use for these. So you'll see a project very soon. Probably want to get it done before the weekend. I don't know if the video will be live before the weekend. But these are little volt and current meters. Look at that. I don't know if it's in focus. But as soon as I pull out, it's definitely not in focus anymore. So let me get you focused in. So it wasn't too bad, $15 for 5 of these. And this is what it looks like on the back side there. There is a 3-wire connection. And if I'm not mistaken, these things should work. One of these wires is positive, the other one's negative to supply the power to the unit. And one of these wires, I'm assuming the yellow, is going to be the sense voltage. So it's actually powered separately from the sense. You could just bridge these two together if you just wanted to check the source of a power supply, for example. But we will give that a test momentarily. And then in here, you see there's a current shunt, this little loop-the-loop here of copper. And that should be connected through onto this wire, which is great. It has these big wires. What's the size? 18 gauge. It's not that big, but it's not too bad either. But that should be able to capture the current. So that's pretty interesting. So I see a plus and a minus over on this side. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like that's right. So positive is red, negative is black, and yellow will be the sense. So let me just kajigger up something to sort of set this up, and we'll take a look. So I had a look at this thing. This one here should be able to measure up to 100 volts, but only works with the supply voltage up to 28. So that's one thing. I have it all set up here. The red and the yellow go to the same connection here on this fabulous Riden RD6018. And I've got the negative going up to the black terminal over here. We have 21 volts on the output with a max of 1 amp, but this should flow no current because the current section is over here. I'm going to hook that up next, but not at this very moment. So let's switch on the output and see if this thing boots up and see if it reads the same voltage. So first and foremost, the voltage is in red and the current is in blue. And it looks like we got 20.9 there. We've got 21, so pretty close. There might be a potentiometer there if you know, to tweak it. These things, you can get them up to like 200 volts or more and up to 20 amps. But the 20 amp ones had an external shunt instead of the built-in one, and I didn't want an external for my use. But I mean, if that's your use, go nuts. If you follow the link in the description, you'll be able to pick the output type you want. Okay, so that's not too bad. I'm going to hook up this thing and we're going to try it one more time. This thing has current limiting, so I don't actually have to put a load. We'll just see if they're the same from here to there. Got the current connector put in and the wires are shoved into here. They might be intermittent connections, so we might have to just push on it, but let's see what happens. Okay, so because we are current limiting, what's happening is our supply voltage is dropped, and this is why you have the potential, like you need a different sense line than the powering line. So let me see if I can fix that. Laziness seems to be prevailing today, so I'm just holding the contacts, the red and black, onto this 9-volt battery, and let's see what happens when we turn it on. Now this will sense the voltage from the unit, which we're going to see is going to drop basically to 0. And I'm not sure if that'll even give us a current reading because the voltage will be so low. Oh, look at that, 21 volts. We're showing no current, so maybe because these connections are dicky. No. We're not getting any of the current flow through the shunt. that's interesting. Oh, there was a spark. Always scares me. Okay, now we're getting current through the shunt. We're getting 1.01 amps, and this is 0.99, so pretty close. And we're getting the 0 volts because this is 0.3. These little modules are working just fine. But yeah, it scared the bejesus out of me. My heart's racing now. Don't you just love sparks? Next one up, we've got this one here. It says resistance. It's not resistance. It's quite expensive. April 2nd, April 16th, $46.97. So what is happening is that the shipping prices are very variable. I mean, free shipping is almost completely disappeared for me up here in Canada. So I am stocking up on things when I see something interesting. So it's $46.97, but this is actually 10 items in here. And also I want to take this quick opportunity to thank my Patreons for their support. You guys are awesome. Yes. So obviously I knew what this was. I typically look it up to put the information on the envelope. But yeah, I've been awaiting this. 3, 6, 9, 10. These are 10 ESP32 boards. I am currently working. I have 3 boards before. 2 of them are in active projects right now, which the videos should be out very shortly. And this year is the year of projects, so I have no excuse. I am going to be using these boards probably not to the fullest of their potential, but to the fullest of my potential. I already have a few ideas of what I want to turn a bunch of them into. So I figured instead of buying them onesies and twosies at a time, where the shipping cost becomes a large percentage of the price of the item, I was just going to get 10 right away, and then I can build cool stuff and send them to my friends. Hopefully my friends know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I've been very lazy and not gone to the post office when I should. Those people have told me, at least one of them have told me, not to worry about sending stuff to them and to take my time, and that's the biggest thing you don't tell a mechanic, is to take your time. Let me give you a closer look at what these things are. The one thing that I find is problematic with ESP32s is that there are so many different board standards. There's not just one ESP32 board, like an Arduino Uno, for example. The ESP32 is more like, you know, like a Arduino, not like an Arduino Uno. And there's no real good word to describe some of the boards. So this is the board that I've settled on, simply because it's the ones I've had in stock before. It's the one with the enable pin on one end, and VIN, ground, 3v3, and ground on the other end. I think these are known as the 30-pin modules. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 30-pin. So, but there's a few 30-pin modules. These ones specifically have the ESP Room 32. But again, like I said, there's a whole bunch of these boards. So if you want to, you know, order some of the boards I'm going to be building on, you know, from PCBWay or whatever, usually PCBWay since they're my sponsor, then these are the ones you're going to need. I'm going to standardize to this footprint. Might be a good idea, might be a bad idea to standardize, but that's the way I'm going to be going forward, at least until these 10 and the 1 extra I have left are going to be consumed in projects. So I hope you'll be subscribed to, you know, follow along with the projects. I'll see if I can get some sort of sponsorship dollars, like actual money, so I can maybe give away some of the projects, but I mean, that's another thought for another day. On to the next one. On to the penultimate package now. This one has no information on it because it's from the now famous Markham reshipping warehouse. I say now famous because I'm pretty sure Pile of Stuff made it famous. April 2nd to April 19th, and I didn't write a price here. Huh, my receptionist is slacking. And by my receptionist, I mean me, obviously. Although my wife does bring some stuff in from the mailbox sometimes. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was. Wonder why I didn't write down the price. Oh well, I'm gonna have to go track it. Did you guess what these are yet? Ooh, there's a bunch. How many did I buy? Alright, well, I guess, like I said, I have to buy things in bulk, so shipping is a lower percentage of the price. These are LEDs. These are, I believe, 12-volt LEDs. They have that sticky phosphorus stuff. Yeah, they're full of like glitter, full of like metal bits. But yeah, these are 12 volt. They are supposedly relatively high CRI, color rendering index, so how accurately they render colors. I don't know if that's true, but the backing is actually a little bit thicker than I would expect. I have other 12 volt ones that cost a little bit less money. So yeah, these things could be real, but I mean, come on, I'm not holding my breath. Basically, I have these big video softboxes that I used to use for photography, and they've been fading away. And instead of replacing the bulbs, I figured I would just make some new ones, more compact ones, using high CRI or relatively high CRI LEDs or LED strip. I figured I would get these first, because if they don't work as high CRI video lights, I'm going to use them as ambient lighting since they're only 12 volts. I can easily find, a plug pack or something and a little heatsink and run them like that. And I can also run them, I got 4, so I can run, if I really wanted to, I can run 4 sort of like this in an array and run them at lower current to have more area, a lot more light coverage, but run them cool. So yeah, we're definitely going to be powering this thing on, and let me get you more information about these. I take it back. These things better be 90 high CRI. These were claimed to be 90 CRI, and they are 20 watt, 12 volt, 12 to 14 volt, 1.6 amp maximum. They claim to be CRI 90 plus, and I paid $25 for the 5 of them, including the shipping. So I paid a lot of money. So they better be high CRI. I'm just bumping up the iron here so I can solder onto these contacts, which are going to be brutal because this aluminum is much thicker than I usually see. But we'll see. This is on the soldering mat that the anonymous Patreon donor has sent me, which has collected dust nicely because my rooms are dusty. So let's see here. I put a little bit of solder to try to promote the heat transfer. I think it's melting. Oh, I'm not confident. Now, there is a way to solder onto these things a lot easier, and that's to pop these LEDs onto a hot plate, warm them up like that, and then solder. You don't even have to get them hot enough to melt the solder. You just warm the warm up the heatsink portion of it, basically. So that's one way to do it. I don't have a hot plate, and honestly, at this point, I'm running out of space for stuff. Alright, so here we go. I mean, one day I'll be able to afford a bigger house, but not on a YouTube salary, that's for sure. It'll be my other job that'll pay for that a lot sooner than YouTube. Here we go, like this. These things, colors better be beautiful. I probably won't be able to test it in this video, but I will have to find a way to do sort of like a before and after unscientific test. I looked into color accuracy testers, and they are extremely expensive. Like $700 plus for the cheapy Chinesey ones. Okay, let me set up, I'll bring you back. I have my serious doubts that this tiny little solid state relay heatsink will be enough to keep this cool, but it is supposed to be only a 20 watt module. It's just that, you know, it's bigger than the heatsink, it barely fits in there. Got the excellent Riden RD6018 power supply here. I'm going to set, go V set, we're going to go 14 volts. You know what, we're going to go 12 volts. You can just go 12. Yeah, V set, 12 volts. Enter. Current set 1.6. Enter. And I've got the welding glass here. I'll just leave a little section exposed here so you can see that it's lit up. And contact. Ooh. The little section is not actually part of the LED. There it is at full brightness. Now, it's bright. It is bright. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, though. I can see the little points of light in there. You can't on the screen. But yeah, there it is. 18 watts. Maybe you need to go up to 20 volts or 14 volts to get the full 20 watts. But let me set the current down. Put it to, let's say, 1 amp. And give that a shot. See, it's nearly the same brightness to my eyes, and it's going to be running a lot cooler at only 11.2 watts. Yeah, it's not actually hot. I'll lift this up. Yeah, I can put, like, this is not heating up much at all. So actually, this could be good that I got 4, and maybe I'll try to run the 4 into one big spotlight, or maybe I'll order more, make a couple of lights. But yeah, there's a few things that I need. Like, I need to change this big light up here, and maybe add another big light on that side to get a little bit more lighting here. And I think these things might be the ticket. Maybe even just running 2 of these, you know, side by each. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing. Maybe just running 2 of these, you know, sort of like this. We'll run it at 12 volts, 2 amps on some big chunk of aluminum, and so that I could cool it passively and I won't have to worry about it. Something like that. I'm thinking that might be a good change, and then have the lighting come this way so as to reflect less off screens and stuff. This is all potential for the future, and actually, if you've got any suggestions for what kind of lighting you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. We've got one more package to go, though. Well, I still can't see from that last LED thing, but I think that says LED strip, so I guess won't be able to see again. April, what does that say? 2nd to April 19th. $29.19. This was a little expensive as well, but this one is a little unique, and I haven't seen it around on YouTube yet, so I really wanted to be one of the first ones to make a video about it. I mean, my laziness will mean probably won't get it done, but it doesn't matter. This is 12 volt LED strip. Again, it says 90 plus CRI. I think you're seeing a pattern here, but I've had 90 plus CRI LED strip before, but this one is a little bit different. Because it is a continuous strip of LED. It comes actually with these connectors, which I did not expect. But yeah, these are different. They're, you know, continuous. This phosphor here is continuous. Oh, look at that. It even uses legitimate 3M tape. Even like this this roll is embossed with the length. That's incredible. Huh. Okay. Well, I need to get this lit, so let's do that. Oh, there's a little protective tape, a little heat shrink above on these wires here. This is Huh. I don't think I've ever bought anything of this high quality before. I really don't want to uncoil it, so I'm not going to run it too hard. Got 12 volts on the power supply, and I'm going to set a current limit of, I don't know, 7 amps. I just don't want it to limit itself, because I think there are resistors built in. But yeah, I found it really interesting. So this thing won't cast those individual weird shadows that you usually see. Turn it on. Ooh, that is neat. So this is 12 volts at 1.72 amps. It's 20 watts. Now the listing said it was 10 watts per meter, but I don't know. Let me turn down the current actually. I set 0.5, enter. Okay, can you see that? Maybe not. So I set 0.2, enter. Okay, maybe you can see. No, still. So I set 0.1, enter. Can you see the individual chips now? There's like a whole bunch of them. Am I zoomed in all the way? Yes, I am. Okay, let me go freehand then. Sorry about the focus. Look at that. You see the individual chips there lighting up? You see that? So there are so many, I think there's 400 and something per meter. And I don't know where the resistors are. Maybe there. You see a little shadow right here? Right there? Little darker spot? Maybe that's it. There's another one right here. That's so interesting. This tape is incredibly interesting. It looks very cool at full bore as well. Let's see if I can get this focused. I probably won't be able to. Alright, let's unlimit the current. So I set 7, enter. There we go, that's full bore. Yeah, I see little dark spots, but they're barely visible. It's not super bright, but it's super even. This thing will be really interesting to like make accent lighting out of. Maybe like even under cabinet stuff. It looks neat as all hell. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And this pile of stuff makes up today's mailbag. Once again, thank you so much to my Patreon patrons. I can make this year a year of projects thanks to you guys. I really appreciate you guys. For my viewers, if you guys want to help without supporting with money, that's totally fine. Hit the thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed. That is a lot of support as well. And for those of you who just silently watch and don't subscribe, well, thanks for watching.